Hi, I'm Dr. Richard Rand. I'm the chair of the Department of Accounting at Tennessee Tech University. Today I'm very excited to be able to talk to you about the lessons I've learned from almost 2 decades of teaching in an online environment. This is some of my background related to my experiences in online teaching. You can see very clearly that I've been involved in online teaching since 2001, and we've done a lot of teaching in that environment in our program. I have personally taught 75 sections of online courses, 8 different courses over that time period, 1,500 students and 4,500 credit hours. In 2017, our department developed an online Master of Accountancy that's been very successful and very well received by students. At TTU, prior to the COVID-19 shutdown in March of 2020, less than 10% of the courses on campus were taught online. At the same time, the Department of Accounting was teaching over 35% of its credit hours online. Most of the professors at Tennessee Tech had not taught a course before, and many were still not using the university's preferred course management platform even for their online classes. The result, of course, during the spring shutdown was that the experience the students had can best be described as inconsistent. Many courses were simply thrown together without a lot of thought. To a large degree, students were very disappointed with that online experience. For many students, it was their first online experience. Student surveys consistently tell us that the students were unhappy with the online experience and want to return to campus. Faculty who are new to online teaching have reported experiencing problems that, quite frankly, many of us had already experienced over the last 20 years. We had solutions, but simply were not sought out widely by our universities as a source of wisdom and solutions for problems that faculty either encountered or would encounter. My advice here is that if you are teaching for the first time online, if you are new to online teaching, seek out those people who have done it for a long period of time. Seek out those people that are the experts on your campus and ask them to share their wisdom and their lessons with you. They can guide you and tell you how to do things in a much more efficient manner than you might otherwise do. So what are some of those lessons that we've learned over the last 20 years? First of all, pre-semester planning is absolutely critical. You must start as early as possible to develop your courses, to develop your assignments, to record your lectures. All of the lectures, if you're doing pre-recorded lectures, they should all be posted before the semester begins. All of the assignments, all of the exams, all of the quizzes, those dates should be indicated in your syllabus and be very clear. Students tell us also that they want to be able to plan around the due dates and the courses, and so you need to tell them that. Clearly explain your expectations. I create a document I call a course handbook that goes through and clearly explains my expectations with regards to writing, with regards to homework assignments, attendance, exams, discussion threads. All these things are clearly lined out in about an 8 to 10 page document for my students that if they read it, they'll be able to deal with all those questions very easily. Things like, do I want it double spaced or single spaced? What font do I want to use? What referencing style do I use? How many posts do I have to make to a discussion thread? What's the difference between a substantive post and a non-substantive post? All this stuff should be explained very clearly to the students ahead of time. When students turn in assignments, you need to grade them quickly. Students expect to know. They get very anxious if they don't know how they're doing in the class. Likewise, when students send you an email, you should respond to that very quickly. A 24 to 48 hour time limit for responding to emails is not unreasonable, and particularly students love it. If they send you an email and when they get up the next morning there's an answer waiting for them, they absolutely love that. You should create and publish your rubrics. Let the students know how you grade your assignments, particularly the non-objective assignments where they're writing things. Let them know what you're looking for and how points will be taken off or added for different elements of that response. Communicate frequently with them. You can use recorded videos, emails, video conferencing. We encourage our faculty to do a Monday morning update to the class. Short 2-minute video. Hi everyone, I hope you had a good weekend. I know we had a lot to turn in last night. Here's what we're going to cover this week. Here's the things that are due this week and when they're due. Give them maybe a quick update on something else that's relevant to the news or relevant to business, but a short 2-minute video early in the mornings. Emailing your students frequently with updates on what's going on in the course, how you're doing on grading, what progress you're making, what things you're running into. Video conferencing. We're using video conferencing tools not only for meeting with students, but also setting up virtual office hours. I set up a Zoom session. My office hours are usually about 9:30 to 11 in the mornings. And I open that Zoom session, has a waiting room. If no student comes in, I'm fine. If a student comes in, I get a chime. I bring the student into the room. We have our conversation. Their questions are answered. They go. I'll bring in the next student. This is much more efficient for students. They don't have to get in the car, drive to campus, find a parking place, walk to your building, wait for you to be free. They get your time and your attention immediately, and they really like that. You can leverage your video conferencing tools to upgrade the quality of your guest speakers. You can now get CEOs or Congress people to take an hour out of their time to speak with your class, and it does not require to take a half a day to travel to your school, find a parking space, come and wait for your class to begin. They can just do it and then get right back to work. So you're able to get better access, I think, to better quality speakers. You should update your content frequently in your course. Online teaching is not a fire and forget correspondence experience. It is meant to be interactive, and it's meant to be up to date. What you teach the students should be current. If you're using pre-recorded lectures, those pre-recorded lectures should be up to date, just as your in-class section would be up to date. For pre-recorded lectures, I tend to use a 15-minute rule. I never ask the students to watch a lecture that's longer than about 15 minutes. That means that a whole chapter might take me 6 components. That's okay. Students like to be able to go back and find that if they want to. You can use a recording of your live lecture. That's usually longer, and students will lose focus, I find. There's nothing wrong with putting it up there for them, but they tend to, given the choice, they will watch the 15-minute lectures instead, I think. You can also, for students this fall particularly, if some students are on campus and some are home, you can live stream that lecture. You could live stream any lecture for that matter, even if all your students are at home. It could be a live streamed synchronous environment. I would record that live stream and post it for the students later. But live streaming is good because students have real-time access to you and can ask questions as you're going through your lecture. Online courses should generally include the same content as their on-campus complement course. So if you have 2 courses or 2 sections of the same course, one on campus, one online, there's no reason in the world why the content should be any different. The students should be able to take the same exams. Our experience has been, if you pay attention to that and you make sure there's consistency there, the students will get the same experience regardless of whether they're on campus or online. Academic misconduct in an online course is not an insurmountable obstacle. Okay, you can address this very easily. Let's remember something. Many professors will use this exam integrity issue as a straw man to avoid teaching online. I can't teach online because my exams won't be secure. Let me tell you something. Your exams in your classroom aren't secure, and if you think they are, you're fooling yourself. Students are cheating left and right. Okay, even despite our best efforts to stop it. So all we can do is exercise some mitigating strategies to try to prevent it or discourage it. It's very difficult to prevent it entirely. Use Turnitin.com to combat plagiarism. If you're worried about plagiarism and writing assignments, turn that assignment into Turnitin.com. Will tell you what percentage of that assignment is similar to other things. For exams, you can use third-party exam proctoring tools. They can be very effective. We have found that they can reduce scores on tests by as much as 10% over not proctoring at all. These tools can include things like ProctorU, Remote Proctor Now, and Proctorio. If you find academic misconduct, you need to enforce it. Don't let it go unenforced. There are many strategies that you can use to mitigate online examination academic misconduct. First, change your examinations frequently. Write new exams. Okay, don't use the same exam over and over again. Within your exam, scramble the questions so that every student gets questions in a different order. Scramble the answers to multiple choice questions so that the answer is not always C. Use question pools, 20 questions of which every student gets 12 or 15, so that every student doesn't get the same set of questions. You have to be careful not to mix in difficult questions with easy questions, but that's also it's not an insurmountable task. Use algorithmic problems or algorithmic questions for your problems. Now, this is a problem where the problem stays the same, but all the numbers change, so every student gets a different set of numbers. Limit the time available to take the exam. That can be very effective. If students have less time to take the exam, they have less time to go look for answers, right? Simply including an honor statement at the beginning of the exam can remind students of their obligations both as students and as young professionals to exercise ethics and integrity as they're completing the examination. Some final comments. First, your online courses can be highly effective. Okay, you need to be organized, you need to plan, you need to focus on the details. Don't wait till the last minute, you'll get in trouble. Use the technology to enhance good pedagogy. Our classes start with good classes on the front end. Technology is not going to make them better, but the technology will help us to deliver the good course in an online environment. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Students want to know you're involved, they want to know that you're paying attention, and they want to be informed of what's going on. Be flexible. Technology is a fickle master. Sure as anything, you're going to get in there and something's going to break down on your end or something's going to break down on the student's end, and it's going to happen. You have to be flexible. You cannot be inflexible with regards to things like due dates and assignment understanding. I have students sometimes that they go somewhere and suddenly they lose their internet connection, and they ask for an extension. Good grief, give them an extension on the assignment. The goal is to teach students, okay? And so you're going to have to, if you're not flexible, then the students are going to be unhappy and you're going to be unhappy as well. Finally, many of these skills that we're talking about in an online course are actually useful in any teaching modality. No matter what modality you're using to teach, updating your exams frequently, communicating with your students, using online tools for office hours, all these are great tools to use regardless of how you're delivering your course. Even in a face-to-face class, better communication, leveraging the technology, these are all good tools to be using in our classes today. I hope you found something helpful in this presentation. I'll be answering questions in the online session during the meeting, and if you need to contact me, my email address is located at the bottom of the infographic for this presentation.